Hi there, welcome to Kneppyinvests. As I continue on my journey to cover every single company that releases a positive operating cash flow June quarter, I will touch upon some companies that I have already done videos on, and that is true for Pureprofile. I did video on this company when they released their March quarter Appendix 4C, and not only did I do a video, I also joined their online survey community. And when you do join up with Pureprofile and do some of their surveys, sometimes you can get paid a good amount of money to do one survey. In fact, I did one survey and they paid me $4 after about 15 minutes of work. You won't qualify for every single survey because you do answer some questions, and if you answer some of these questions truthfully, you will not qualify for some of the surveys. So the only reason I really did join up to that online survey community was just to see how this company works, because Pureprofile is a data and insights business for marketers, researchers, and publishers. They've had a bit of a checkered past in the previous 4 or 5 years, but things do look they are turning around, particularly when they hired a new CEO at this time last year. Pureprofile ticker code is PPL, market cap $31 million, revenue $25 million, and they are operational cash flow positive by $2.6 million in the previous 12 months. We should get some new numbers in the next month and a week, as most of these companies will be releasing their full year or half year results. Not all of them will. A price to sales ratio pretty low, 1.2. And if you do want to have a read of their Appendix 4C, they released that report on the 20th of July. Before we look at Pureprofile's June quarter results, I just want to go back to the March quarter results because there is a reason I decided to do a video on this company. The main reason was when we look at the receipts from customers in the March quarter of 8.4 million, that was actually higher than the previous quarters. And this company had a history of decreasing revenue and cash receipts. A new CEO came into the business in July last year, and sometimes when you do get a new CEO, they can turn things around. So this was a possible sign of the new CEO turning things around with this company. And not only did we see cash receipts grow in this company, they were also operational cash flow positive by $794,000 for this quarter, which was an improvement from previous quarters. In fact, the first 6 months of this financial year, or financial year 21, they're actually operational cash flow negative. And because they're operational cash flow positive for this quarter, they actually did grow cash in the business from 3.1 million to 3.4 million. So now let's have a look at the June quarter and see if they've continued this momentum moving forward. As we look at the June quarter, not only do we get the numbers for that one quarter, we also have the 12 months of financial data here. So receipts and customers for the quarter, 8.5 million, and receipts for the whole year were 30.3 million. And they're operational cash flow positive for the quarter by 922,000, just shy of 1 million. And for the whole year, they're operational cash flow positive by $1.5 million. And because they're operational cash flow positive for the quarter, they again grew their cash during the quarter from 3.4 to 3.6 million. Now, these numbers, particularly the cash receipts from customers in isolation, don't really mean anything. I've provided 2 quarters of numbers here, and they have grown slightly over these 2 quarters. I just want to go back in time to see if there is a bit of a turnaround in this company when it comes to cash receipts, because that's the first thing I really look for, is a growth trajectory in receipts through time. Do we have that with Pureprofile? Well, let's have a check of their history. About a year ago, I wasn't that interested in this company simply because the receipts were going backwards. So we have history going back almost, exactly 2 years of history here to the September quarter in 2019. And from that September quarter 2019 to the September quarter in 2020, receipts were actually going backwards or down from 7.8 million to a low of 6.2 million in that September quarter of 2020. That was about 3 months after the new CEO came into employment. So it seems like potentially the new CEO is doing his job. And that makes sense in a way, because when we look at the chart, you'll see a major inflection point in the share price of this company and the start of a new uptrend when the new CEO was announced. So the new CEO announcement was had a major impact on the market. So even though I've never heard of this guy, obviously he was well known within this industry, and it just looks like potentially he has turned things around because receipts have grown from that low of 6.2 million in September quarter of 2020 to a current receipts of 8.5 million. And if we calculate their compound growth rate over the past 3 or 4 quarters, it's growing at 11% per quarter. So that's exactly what you want to see. Probably the only thing is the growth rates in the previous quarter wasn't that great, only $100,000. So maybe this is the end of the growth in receipts, or maybe this is just a little blip. So might have to wait another 3 months or maybe even another 2 quarters to see if this growth in receipts is a sustainable one. I'm going to show you 2 charts with Pureprofile. The first chart is the weekly chart going back to 2016. The share price got to a high of 43 cents in the middle of that year. And then the share price started to move into a downtrend. And that downtrend continued all the way into the middle of 2020. Share price went from that 43 cent high to a low of under 1 cent at one point. So this was not the sort of company you wanted to be a shareholder during this downtrend period. Things then did turn around in July of 2020, and I'll show you what caused that turnaround in the share price. I've already sort of hinted it or mentioned it already, but you can see when you look at the daily chart, a very noticeable increase in volume, and the share price went through the roof on the one announcement. And from that announcement in July last year about the new CEO being hired, we've just seen the share price moving into this very slow uptrend. You can even see that on the weekly chart. The share price is rising, but it's rising very slowly, and their increase in volume has continued. This is the sort of share price rise I do like to see. A solid increase that is quite slow, because it's much more sustainable. You don't get day traders interested in the company. When you get day traders interested in a company's share price, you'll see a greater amount of volatility simply because day traders love volatility. When you don't have that volatility, the share price rising is much more stable and much more sustainable in the long run. When we look at the daily chart for Pureprofile going back to June 2020, when the share price was languishing around about 0.5 cents, not a lot of interest in this company back then, not a lot of volume. And it wasn't until the new CEO was announced on the 13th of July 2020. That new CEO was Martin Filz. The market loved this announcement. They loved the hiring of Martin Filz. I don't know his background. I did read about it, but it didn't make any difference to my thoughts. But the market, a little bit smarter than me, knew or thought this was a great hire. You could just see they knew this was a great, or thought this was a great hire, by the share price increasing on the back of this news. Share price actually increased 388% in one day. Again, the market is thinking this was a great hire, and potentially just looking at the cash receipts, it's turned around, is now in an upwards trajectory. Maybe this was a great hire. And this was the catalyst behind the shift in sentiment in Pureprofile. From then on, over the past year, the share price has been increasing very slowly. And a good thing about the share price increasing very slowly, not a lot of volatility, so you don't get day traders interested. We have seen at times potential increase in volatility. We saw that in January. Share price increased from 2 cents to 3.4 cents in about 2 weeks, but then pulled back. And just even a week ago, share price increased from 2.7 to high 3.6 cents. So that's a 33% rise in a very short period of time. And then the share price has pulled back again. Right now, the share price is 2.9 cents. It's right around the moving averages. So the moving averages are going up very slowly. So fairly low risk buy right now. I don't think the share price would decrease all that much from here. So if you are interested in this company, maybe now is a good time to buy. That is all I have for this take on Pureprofile's June quarter Appendix 4C. If you have any questions about this company or any other company on the ASX, make sure you leave a comment or question in the comment section of this video. I am not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.